A group that is not known to be alarmist, NASA, has said that we are no longer about to do climate change, we are in climate change. They have recorded that since records have been kept, 18 of the 19 hottest years worldwide have occurred since 2001. Last year was the fourth hottest year on record. The consensus is in, the science is there. All but the most foolish would say that climate change doesn't exist. Everyone in their own lives can see that life is different. There's something happening when just the moment that they were born and just the life that they're living. So we're seeing that if we don't stop this, we're going to see more intense heat waves, prolonged droughts, spread of infectious diseases, rising sea levels, et cetera, et cetera. Now, I take this personal because I live by the coast. I represent a coastal community. We got hit by Hurricane Sandy, and we have not recovered. If you live in the Rockaways, as I do, I don't need to tell you about the chronic flooding condition that we have. I represent the lower Ninth Ward of New York City, of New York State, the lower Ninth Ward. That is an allusion to what happened in New Orleans during the Katrina disaster. And New Orleans never recovered, and I represent the lower Ninth Ward of New York City. Whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen to us first. Some say that I should stay in my lane, that this isn't a natural black issue. My friends, the communities most vulnerable are communities of color. These are the ones who are getting hit the first, that got hit with environmental injustice and need to figure a way out. And now, if we don't raise our voices, if we don't lead on these issues, they're going to write about us. The Hurricane Katrina superstorm, which destroyed much of New Orleans and the surrounding area. After Sandy, we had Hurricane Maria that hit Puerto Rico. My friends, we're seeing something happening, and when are we, the everyday person, going to step up and say, you know, enough is enough. Leadership must come from the ground. The ground itself must speak up and say, we want to get out of this. Two recent reports highlight this climate threat. The fourth National Climate Assessment, which was released in 2018, a close to 2,000-page report, which was published by the United States Global Change Research Program, big name, for a giant problem. That organization has 13 different federal agencies in it, and they directly contradict President Trump's position that we don't know if the increase of global temperature is due to human activity. There's no scientific way of convincing someone determined to stick to foolishness in the face of all of this. The report agrees. Climate change is already happening. Climate change will get worse. Climate change will result in significant costs. Transitioning away from fossil fuels will eventually stop human-caused climate change, and we need to take immediate action. What is not underlined in this report is that we don't have all day. There's only a short window that we have that humans can make a difference here. After that, the law of unanticipated consequences. Every major report, but not just then, the religious community is chiming in, is stepping in, and is saying that, you know what, climate change is a religious issue. We are supposed to be stewards of the earth. We're supposed to be the ones making sure that the earth does well. We've done a great job in that. in April, I'm going to be holding New Green Deal days at schools throughout my district. I want to discuss this. I want to debate this. The purpose of today is to raise the level of debate. It's also trying to ensure that we give support to our great leader, our general on this issue, AOC, a person who's so strong in such a short period of time that we don't even have to say a whole name. Thank God for her. And we are here to support our general on this because we are in the Empire State. And New York wants to lead the way. As goes New York, so goes the nation. We are going to put forward our own Green New Deal bill here. This bill would establish a 19-member task force to come up with a plan for New York State, something that we can lead the nation in helping to transition from a fossil fuel economy to one based on 100% clean, renewable energy. And last week we introduced this, which is the same as an assembly bill, and God willing, we can get this passed so that we can show the rest of the nation how to do. We call on our colleagues at the state houses throughout the nation, jump in here. Do not wait for the cavalry to come. You are the change that you're looking for. We must be the change that we're looking for. But we want to do this different. We want to make sure that there are no people, big winners or big losers here. So we want this 19-member body to take a little bit of everybody. We want our friends in the House of Labor to be in there. We want communities of color. For half of it should be women. Since it's 19, they should make up the majority. All of these things must, this time we do it right. To save the earth, you can't use the same methodology that got you in here. We're going to have to turn to each other and not on each other. We're going to have to figure this one out in a different manner. Now, a former New York governor, who you may have heard of, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, who became president, of course, gave us the New Deal at a time when people scoffed and said it couldn't happen. And lo and behold, he and others were able to push through and create something that saved America at that time. Well, we can save New York State. We can save America. Indeed, we can help save the world. And it should happen here. We need to start using the energy source, our first energy sources. We need to start using what the good Lord has given us and what is there in abundance if we're just smart enough to use it. Now, I want to thank everyone for coming out here, and we're going to hear people speak. I want to give a special thanks to the assistant leader. I almost called him speaker. I'm a part-time prophet. Our assistant leader, Felix Ortiz, for showing leadership as the prime sponsor of the Green New Deal in the Assembly. I also want to thank Chair Kevin Parker, who's Chair of Energy, who is a co-sponsor of this, and I'm going to thank my other leaders as I introduce them. We are here to sound the alarm in New York State. We are here to wake New York State up and say, New York, we can either come together as brothers and sisters or we will perish as fools. We can either help turn the nation around to deal with this issue, to see how we can create jobs, how we can create homes, how we can use this as a way of correcting the situation, or we can continue to stay on the Titanic with an iceberg clearly ahead of us. And my friends, you all saw the movie. You know how that one ends. It doesn't end well.